We are now headed toward uncharted territory. We're watching Bitcoin evolve into something much stronger than simply magic internet money. It's no longer only nerds in their parents' basements investing in Bitcoin. We have billionaires flocking to Bitcoin in droves now. But what is it that they see in this relatively new asset? Well, I'm going to tell you today. Let's get it. Hello and welcome to BitBoyCrypto, your one-stop shop for all things related to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. If this is your first time here, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell for notifications so you never miss an upload. To take the conversation even further, then please make sure to join one of my two Telegram groups, BitSquad for regular crypto chat or BitSquad traders to discuss trading strategies. All right, guys, this video got me so pumped up that it was hard for me to even sit down and make this. Today, we are going to look at the top 3 reasons why billionaires are investing in Bitcoin. If you want to be rich from crypto, then you should probably do what billionaires are doing. And unlike having investments in exclusive funds, you can invest in Bitcoin the same way that billionaires can. This morning, Paul Tudor Jones sat down with CNBC and talked about Bitcoin. Jones is an old school legendary investor. And I have to say, listening to this interview turned my bolometer to 100 real quick. And I think I just coined the phrase bolometer. But in this interview, Jones discussed why he is so bullish on Bitcoin. Let's check out the 3 reasons why. Bitcoin serves a purpose. In the beginning of the interview, Jones was asked why he had changed his stance on Bitcoin. Like most traditional investors, he had been timid about investing in this new asset. Interestingly enough, Jones changed his mind on Bitcoin at the outset of the current world pandemic. Through the crisis, he has been able to see the purpose that Bitcoin serves.
For a long time, you were a skeptic of Bitcoin and some cryptocurrencies, but you recently appear to have changed your mind about that. What happened?
Well, COVID happened and the great monetary inflation happened, and that made me begin to think about how do you want to be positioned in your portfolio going forward.
While the world is burning all around, Bitcoin has actually gone up. Yes, we did have an initial crash, but now Bitcoin is outperforming all other assets. But the reason for this is not because it is just randomly going up. The crisis has proven Bitcoin's worth as a hedge against monetary inflation. Jones believes that this is now the time for Bitcoin. He says that right now we are watching the birth of Bitcoin as a store of value, which is extremely interesting because it seemed like only a few weeks ago we were talking about the death of the Bitcoin as a store of value argument. Now it is stronger than ever. A true store of value, a hedge against traditional assets, is revealed during a crisis. And this is what we have seen over the last few months. Bitcoin was birthed out of the horrendous 2008 financial crisis, but its purpose has been realized during our 2020 financial crisis. Bitcoin this year has already seen times when it has outperformed gold. Of course, the volatility of Bitcoin means that one day it can be performing better than gold for year to date, and then after a giant red candle, gold can once again take the lead. But the fact Bitcoin is already performing on par or better than gold is astounding, since, gold has a 2,500-year head start on this new asset class. Bitcoin can be trusted. Many millionaires and billionaires alike have shunned Bitcoin due to its newness and mysterious origins. Investors tend to rely on things that they know and trust, and Bitcoin has been short on trust since its inception. And by that, I mean that investors did not trust it. Internally, Bitcoin is built entirely on a trust system in terms of verifying transactions. But its public image was dealt quite the blow in the early days by the black mark that was Silk Road. Bitcoin was seen as something only traded on the dark web. For this reason, many people did not want to touch it. Investors such as Warren Buffett have famously called it rat poison. But all of this is changing in front of our very eyes. Jones says that now that Bitcoin has been around for more than 10 years, it is a trustworthy asset. and it is getting more trustworthy with each passing day.
What I do know is that every day that goes by and Bitcoin survives, the trust in it will go up. If you take cash, on the other hand, and you think about it from a purchasing power standpoint, if you own cash in the world today, you know your central bank has an avowed goal of depreciating its value 2% per year.
If you are unaware, the 10-year mark he acknowledges in his comments were in reference to something called the Lindy test. This means that a technology that has been around for 10 years has a much increased chance of surviving another 10 years. Bitcoin, of course, is now going on 11 years. But the important thing to note here is that investors are changing their mind on Bitcoin. They're starting to see it actually as trustworthy as cash or gold. In reality, though, we know it is much more trustworthy than either. But Jones is putting his money where his mouth is, as he has a whopping 1 to 2% of his billionaire portfolio in Bitcoin. Since Bitcoin is trusted, Jones also believes that Bitcoin is a great asset to speculate on. Bitcoin is the future. I have to be honest with you. This was the part of the interview that got my blood pumping. I love it when people such as Paul Tudor Jones echo things that I've been telling people on this channel for years now. There is no way we are exchanging pieces of paper and metal in 100 years. The world is moving digital. Almost every aspect of our lives will be digital in 25 years from now. Just think, less than 15 years ago, there was no such thing as an iPhone. Now, couldn't survive without it. The world is becoming increasingly digital at astounding rates. In 15 more years, we will look back at this time and see things in the future we can't live without. And in my opinion, one of those things is Bitcoin. Check out this clip where Jones echoes that sentiment.
And yes, the digitization of the world clearly benefits Bitcoin. I mean, we wouldn't even be talking about Bitcoin if we weren't seeing first cousins like Venmo and a variety of other ways. My children don't even carry cash. They barely even know what cash is. So we're clearly digitizing the global economies. You've seen some countries do it explicitly, like India.
Bitcoin is the future. There is little doubt about that in my mind. As Jones says, his kids do not even carry cash. We have seen an evolution in the world when it comes to payments. There was a time when cash was all people used to transact. Then bank accounts introduced checks. Later, credit and debit cards would provide an even easier way to transact. Online payment processors like PayPal and Venmo have now expanded payments from in-person transactions to internet transactions. These are the cousins to Bitcoin, as Jones calls them, but they're actually much different. Bitcoin offers much more than they ever could. These three reasons sum up why Jones is so bullish on Bitcoin. But the thing is, when it comes to a bull run, at least the epic bull run we are all hoping occurs, is that we need more people to come into the space. Right now, estimates are that about 50 to 70 million people own Bitcoin. If you are betting on Bitcoin to increase in value, then for all intents and purposes, then you are betting on that number of people in Bitcoin to increase. If the number of Bitcoin hodlers were to move from 50 to 70 million up to 120 to 150 million, then the price is guaranteed to go up. And Jones is making this bet with his portfolios. He's invested 1 to 2% in Bitcoin, which for a billionaire is a lot. And even with that small amount, Paul Tudor Jones believes that Bitcoin will be the best performing asset in his whole portfolio. But this 1 to 2% reveals a great truth about investing in Bitcoin. You don't need nearly as much invested in it to make huge returns, at least not nearly as much as other assets. So think about this for a moment. If billionaires and millionaires understand it only takes a small percentage of their portfolios in Bitcoin to make huge returns, then what does that mean for you as a retail investor? Well, this means that there is much more left over for you. The speculative and volatile nature of Bitcoin means that the extremely wealthy are only willing to sacrifice a small part of their portfolios. Let's face it, if the upper echelon of our society decide to go all in on Bitcoin and buy the available supply from exchanges for themselves, they could do that. But they understand the huge amount of reward that can come with a relatively small risk. This means that there is more left over for retail investors. They can't freeze us out of investing like we've seen in the stock world with accredited investors. That's a secret code word for the rich get richer and the poor stay poor. But Bitcoin offers opportunity to all. It is the great equalizer. And that's why, for me personally, I'm all in on Bitcoin. But now it's your turn. What percentage of your portfolio do you have invested in Bitcoin? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, let me know if this video got you as pumped as it got me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please make sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe to become a member of the fastest growing community in crypto, the Bit Squad. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day. BitBoy out.